When my daughter whispered, "There's nothing left to fight over," she thought I couldn't hear her. She was standing 3 feet from my hospital bed, already discussing who would get my house. My son wasn't crying. He was calculating. My wife of 34 years hadn't held my hand once that week. Instead, they were waiting for one thing: my last breath. What none of them knew was that I still had one signature left to give, and that single signature would destroy everything they thought they had won. My name is Daniel Carter, and at 68, I believed I'd built the kind of life people dream about. I worked 42 years as a commercial contractor in Chicago. 6-day weeks, early mornings, late nights. I missed birthdays, skipped vacations, worked through broken ribs and pneumonia. Not because I loved my job, because I loved my family. Every overtime paycheck became someone else's opportunity. Emily wanted dance lessons. Done. Ryan dreamed of medical school. Paid. My wife Linda always wanted a bigger house. Bought it. Whenever someone asked what I wanted, I'd laugh and say, "I already have everything." Turns out, I never actually did. 3 months before everything changed, I collapsed at work. At first I thought it was exhaustion. The doctors thought otherwise. A rare heart condition. Aggressive. Unpredictable. Surgery might buy time, or it might not. When the diagnosis spread through the family, everyone suddenly became very busy. They visited, smiled, brought flowers, stayed 15 minutes, spent the other 45 asking about paperwork. "Dad, where's the safe key? Have you updated your insurance? Should we call the lawyer?" Never. "How are you feeling?" One rainy Tuesday, I woke up earlier than expected. The curtain around my hospital bed wasn't completely closed. Outside, my wife and our 2 children were talking. Ryan spoke first. "If Dad doesn't make it through surgery, selling the house immediately makes the most sense." Emily nodded. "The vacation property too." Linda sighed. "I just hope the paperwork isn't complicated." "Not. I hope he survives." Paperwork, property, money. Then Emily laughed softly. "It's sad, but honestly, he doesn't even know what's going on anymore." I wanted to scream. I wanted to stand up. Instead, I stayed perfectly still, listening. Ryan smiled. "We've waited long enough." That sentence hurt more than my disease ever could. Later that afternoon, my night nurse, Sarah, noticed something was wrong. "You heard them." It wasn't a question. I nodded. She didn't offer fake sympathy. She simply sat beside me. Then she said something I'll never forget. "Sometimes illness doesn't reveal who loves you. It reveals who was pretending." I couldn't sleep. I kept replaying 40 years of sacrifice. Every mortgage payment. Every graduation. Every Christmas bonus I never spent on myself. Had they ever loved me? Or only what I provided? The next morning, I asked Sarah for one favor. "Can you call my attorney?" She smiled. "I already have." 2 days later, Attorney Michael Grant arrived quietly. No one in my family knew. We reviewed every document, every account, every property. Then he asked, "Are you absolutely certain?" I looked out the hospital window. I've never been more certain. One by one, I signed. The house, investment accounts, vacation cabin, savings, company shares, everything. But not to another family member. I created something completely different. The Carter Skilled Trades Foundation. A scholarship fund for young people who couldn't afford trade school. Electricians, plumbers, welders, carpenters. Kids who worked hard, just like I once had. I left enough money for Linda to live comfortably. Nothing extravagant, just security. Ryan and Emily, exactly $1 each. Not because I hated them, because legally, it proved I hadn't forgotten them. I had simply made a choice. I passed away peacefully, 6 weeks later. The church overflowed. Former coworkers, neighbors, employees, people I barely remembered. Each had their own story. Daniel paid my rent when my wife had cancer. He bought my first toolbox. He never let anyone leave hungry. Meanwhile, my children stood near the front, already discussing estate taxes. Attorney Grant waited patiently until after the burial. Then everyone gathered inside my lawyer's office. Ryan smiled confidently. Emily had already bookmarked luxury homes online. Linda looked emotionally exhausted, though I couldn't tell whether from grief or uncertainty. Grant opened the envelope. My client's final instructions are very clear. Silence. Then he read every word. Ryan interrupted first. This has to be a mistake. Grant calmly slid the signed documents across the table. My father wouldn't do this. He already did. Emily's face turned white. $1? Grant nodded. To each child. Linda whispered, but why? Then Grant handed them another envelope. My client also left a personal letter. Ryan unfolded it. His hands were shaking. It read, if you're hearing this, then my greatest fear came true. Not that I died, but that my value to you ended before my heartbeat did. I spent my entire life building wealth, not so you could inherit comfort, but so you'd inherit character. Somewhere along the way, only one survived. Money built this family. Love should have kept it together. Instead, money replaced love. So I decided to give my life's work to people who still understand gratitude. The world doesn't need richer children. It needs more opportunities. If this decision hurts, imagine hearing your own children discuss your funeral while you're still alive. No one spoke. Not for a long time. 6 months later, the Carter Skilled Trades Foundation awarded its first 20 scholarships. One recipient was a single mother studying electrical engineering. Another had grown up in foster care. One young man wrote, Mr. Carter saved my future, even though we never met. That letter hung inside the foundation office. Ryan eventually apologized publicly. Emily volunteered with the scholarship program, not because they expected money, because for the first time, they understood what their father had really left behind. As for Linda, she sold the oversized house and moved into a small lakefront cottage. She once admitted to Sarah, the nurse, I spent decades thanking him for what he bought. I forgot to thank him for who he was. Funny, isn't it? Everyone thought my final signature would decide who became wealthy. Instead, it decided who finally became human. Because sometimes, the greatest inheritance isn't money. It's the lesson people are forced to learn after it's too late.